Braaaains. Uh, I mean, Cookies. So, when Spike mentioned zombies way back in Season 1, I'm sure more than a few of us were curious as to whether it was only a story concept in the world of Equestria, or, considering all the potential that comes with strange creatures and boundless magic, zombies might actually have existed at some point in their history. Well, we may never actually see such a concept being presented in the show, but 28 Pranks Later was a fairly entertaining substitute. Predictable and perhaps a little too mean-spirited, but still fairly entertaining. The episode begins with Rainbow scaring Fluttershy to the point of overwhelming terror, which really gives a mean-spirited vibe right from the get-go. We know from all the way back in Griffin the Brush-Off that both Rainbow and Pinkie Pie love to play their pranks, but even Pinkie made it very clear that doing so with Fluttershy would just be cruel. However, it's immediately followed up by the rest of the main six actually sitting down with Rainbow and expressing their concerns. And that by itself goes a long way in lifting the overall spirit of the story. In many ways, I can see people calling 28 Pranks Later as a sort of mysterious ne'er-do-well 2.0, and both stories really do share a lot of similarities. Except in this case, Rainbow's ego isn't putting any pony's life in danger, and again, the main six actually try to talk it out with Rainbow before going behind her back. So I do believe this is a better way to handle a story about Rainbow's ego getting in the way of others' concerns. But the only way the rest of the town wouldn't seem mean-spirited in their reprisal was by including pranks that really do seem like she's taking things way too far. Putting a brick in a sandwich? You can just feel the pain in your teeth when watching that scene. Switching out a toupee for a skunk? For anyone who's never had to wash a pet that's been sprayed by a skunk, let me tell you, it's really unpleasant. Now, this would have brought the episode as a whole down a few pegs if every prank was this mean-spirited. But thankfully, the writers did balance it out here and there. When Rarity tried to use her sewing machine, that got a good laugh out of me. It was really clever. When Applejack was taking every precaution and still paid for it, it seemed like a fair bit of comeuppance considering that both Rarity and Applejack were in fact challenging Rainbow to be more creative in her pranking in the first place, and the pranks themselves seemed far more in just good fun. But again, it really was necessary for Rainbow to be taking things too far with at least a few other characters, so when the rest of Ponyville gets in on the gag, it's more understandable as to why they'd go so far. And when the cookie-crazed Zompony started showing up, it was fairly entertaining. And rather impressive when you consider all the planning and coordination just to make it work. It is, unfortunately, very straightforward, and the ending can be seen from a mile away, but I was still having fun here and there. I think Pinkie actually steals the show for every scene she's in. Those over-the-top expressions and the cookie-crazed voice work by Andrea Libman was fantastic. I do very much appreciate the homage to zombie films, though I think they could have gone a little further with it if they wanted to. And the lesson, while perhaps it could have been presented in more entertaining fashion from start to finish, does hold a lot of relevance, especially for anyone who interacts anonymously online and trolls other people all in good fun. I think Rainbow's behavior is still an ongoing aspect of her personality which does need to be addressed from time to time. I kind of wish that using such over-the-top, mean-spirited pranking wasn't so essential to the plot, but I can at least understand why it was written that way. And compared to a mysterious ne'er-do-well, I think the overall story here is a step in the right direction. I consider 28 Pranks Later a good episode. Not a great one by any means, but better than just okay. What do you think? Given everything we've seen from Rainbow's character thus far, do you believe this was a welcome return of her egotistic behavior? What did you think of the cookie-crazed Zompony's angle? How does this episode compare to Mysterious Ne'er-do-well in your mind? Do you have any ideas on how things would have played out if the zombie outbreak really did happen in the world of Equestria? I would like to hear your thoughts on 28 Pranks Later, and wait a minute. Where was Starlight Glimmer in all of this? Could someone explain that to me? I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.